New York City, it's a city known for many things, but very importantly, its food. They invented the apple. They invented the potato chip. Someone from New York invented Eggs Benedict in a hotel somewhere. But what are they doing in 2026, in the year of our Lord? Over the next 5 days, I'll be finding out.
Many call it the city that never sleeps, and yet it's ever so hard to get tired of wandering about in New York.
This is where you take your dog for a
We arrived to violently hot weather and immediately sought refreshment in the form of drinks with cowboy hats before heading to Brooklyn for dinner number one.
We're just in, I think it's called the Brooklyn Pub, and it's round the corner from Strange Delight, which is a strangely delightful restaurant specialising in New Orleans fish. But we're in New York, which is why there's Arsenal flags up, as you can see. Because we can't just have one good thing in the UK. The Americans need to take it. I'm not walking around being like, oh, I'm a Knicks fan, am I? I don't even know who Nick is.
Actually, we were there for the Knicks' first few playoff games against the Spurs, and now I'm a huge Knicks fan, sorry. Strange Delight is bloody wicked. It's a trendy little spot with a seafood focus. Here's the rundown.
We had a seafood tower. There was some sort of lettucey shrimp cocktail mixed business, which was very nice. People more in the know cuisine-wise might call it a ragout, but they spell it R-A-G-O-U-T. Never had a shrimp cocktail like that before. I've never had a shrimp cocktail like that before. The oysters were the size of the toenail on my big toe, about that big. And yet, unlike my big toe, they were packed with flavour. Tuna tataki was a lightly seared tuna situation. That was nice. That was very tasty. Could have been bluefin, could have been yellowfin, could have been greenfin. The Iberico pork ribs were sensational, very limey. I felt like we were in some sort of a pork utopia, which is unusual for a seafood restaurant. We had something called Hush Puppies. Sounds quite American. It is a New Orleans-based restaurant. Yeah, probably from there. They were nice. A little smear of quite sweet butter. Trout roe, I believe, spread on top with a weird knife. Oh, the Exo crab rice. Reminded me of something that might have come out from the Wong Kee in Chinatown in London, which is not famously an excellent restaurant, but it does do a lot of things very well. That was good. Lots of crispy bits. I enjoyed it. Did you had a good time?
Probably my best meal of the evening.
Best meal of the evening. The special this evening was the oyster ho' boy loaf. Usually not a fan of a cooked oyster, but those crispy buggers were nice with the tomatoes and maybe there was remoulade, I don't really know, but I had a nice time munching that box of sandwich. Pepto-Bismol, perhaps needed now. Good times all round.
We were actually in the city to celebrate my dear friend Josh's birthday, but naturally I was in charge of food choices and there was greatness to come. Day 2 saw us wander over the Williamsburg Bridge, get far too hot and settle on getting a heavily air-conned Uber to Hellbender in Ridgewood, a modern Mexican eatery, good for a bit of lunching or brunching.
We've just had a lovely meal at Hellbender, which is a Mexican establishment in Ridgewood. We started off with some guacamole and chips, nice salty chips, nice creamy guacamole. The fried Oaxacan cheese was sort of like a mozzarella stick situation, but instead of a tangy tomato sauce, it was served with a sort of spicy salsa that sort of sang in your mouth for a little bit afterwards. It was delicious, very stringy, very delicious. The chamoy watermelon was lovely, very sour and sweet and slightly spicy. So sweet that they worked really nicely with the tangy chamoy. The summer melon salad was melon and cucumber. It's 32 degrees today, so it was kind of like one of the things that you would want on a day such as this. As was the prawn ceviche, very fresh. I did hit a bit of chili quite hard, and it caused me a mild upset that was quelled by a nice not spicy margarita, of which we tried the pineapple one, the regular one, and the rhubarb one. All very refreshing, all very delicious. We had an endive salad, endive, which was with this sort of like chili crisp situation, which was very, very bitter leaves with this lovely chili crisp, and I think there was like crispy shallots on it. That was very, very nice, and probably would have gone very well with the Milanesa, which was just served with like a nice creamy sort of slaw on top. Very, very bitter, but you know, little bite here and there. Heirloom masa pancakes were sort of like a sticky toffee pudding, just drenched in syrup and really crispy on the outside and really light and fluffy on the inside. Big nice. Like the fluffy pancakes that you get at home, but with the sort of crisp of a nice crispy sticky toffee pudding. Not really something that I'd have for breakfast, but something that I did very much enjoy eating. I would have had for pudding, but then actually to get onto the puddings, we had the tres leches cake, which was delicious with like coffee. Yeah, I think there was like cacao nibs on it. That was lovely. And then we had a little jello. The jello of the day wasn't available. We were intrigued by the jello of the day. Because we were obsessed with the jello of the day, we made a real point of that. We did end up having this lovely sort of banana jello with a nice sort of, I think it was a tres leches like condensed milk sauce on it. And that was, yeah, sort of like a panna cotta with a bit of banana going through it. And that was, yeah, fantastic pudding-wise. Hellbender. Hells bells. Nice.
The rest of the afternoon took us to a Yankees game, the nation's favourite pastime, baseball. It's like if cricket had better PR. There's a bit more glitz, a bit more pizzazz, and they've got massive great big cans of lager. A fine time was had by all. The night went on. Day 3 began with sore brains and thoughts of pork.
Carnitas Ramirez. I've just scanned the QR code and it's telling me exactly what everything is, which is handy. Yeah, I think we'll probably have one of every single thing. It's a piggy palace. Cochette, cheeks, meaty, juicy and lean. Can have some collagen. Collagen's good for you. It's good for your skin. My friend Anna told me that. She's from Macau, but this is from the pig.
I've been to Mexico and I can safely say that things felt distinctly Mexican here.
I can't remember exactly which ones are which, but one of them's tongue, one of them is the one that's like a mix of all of them, one of them's like belly, but I don't know which is which. And then I got this thing as well. Yeah, it's some sort of porky sarnie. Like the kind of pork back that you get at a sporting event, but much nicer. So soft. I think that one must be the belly because that is fatty and delightful. I think these guys really like pigs. Well, not that much. They probably get through quite a lot of them. No pig leaves this place alive.
Carnitas Ramirez is a shrine to all things pig. We ordered a few different things, including tongue and belly. Each specific thing doesn't really stand out. The tongue one was really good. The belly one was it was all really, really good, but it's sort of like a porkaki, if you will. You're sort of just consuming pork at an alarming rate, and it's all really nice, and all the little toppings are nice. The pickled onions are great. Salsa verde is great. I am very hungover and I am feeling quite slow, and I think that I might have what's called pork brain, which is when you eat so much pork that it makes you thick. But yeah, I would definitely put Carnitas Ramirez on your list of things to do in New York if you need to go and make yourself a bit slow in the thoughts.
Thank God for the hand-wash tap on the way out, or everything I'd touch for the rest of the day would have been tainted by pork. Less about the pork now, more about the park. Central Park for a bit of a hangover amble. We got to see this fella absolutely flop his swing, and before you know it, Owen was reviewing a hot dog.
We are here at the New York Hot Dog King. After traversing the depths and crevices of Central Park, we've emerged specifically for one reason outside the Metropolitan Museum for a hot dog from the best rated hot dog that I could be bothered to find on Google. Beef sausage, mustard ketchup, relish, sauerkraut, turbo actually, that's really nice.
Dinner was coming.
We are currently on our way to a restaurant called Bernie's in Brooklyn, Greenpoint, I believe. Quite a lot of people recommended it to us. It looks to be some sort of American-y, dinery type thing. I think I might have a cheeseburger. Bernie's. How do I say that? It's if Frankie and Benny's wasn't that's what Bernie's feels like. It's got like a really nice bar vibe. The food is sort of that kind of Italian-American type cuisine. So we started off with some chips and dips. That was like a creamy caramelized onion dip with homemade crisps, which were absolutely delicious. We had some mozzarella sticks. They were as good as mozzarella sticks can be. We had a little shrimp cocktail. A shrimp cocktail's always nice. Big juicy prawns and some stuff to dip it in. The mains, we had crispy chicken piccata, which was like a sort of lemony sauce and capers, and that was fantastic. The vinegar chicken that comes with like these peppers on it, that was also great. Josh described it as kind of like cooking a bag chicken that you get from the supermarket, which I thought was fairly accurate, but not in a bad way, just in that it was reminiscent of that. The cheeseburger was absolutely sensational, big fat chunky one, no smash burgers there. We also took on a portion of the ribs, which were intensely barbecue saucy, very nice, very soft. At this point I was feeling quite fat and quite stupid. The food had made me a bit thicker in every sense of the word. I felt stupid and large. But there is always a second dessert stomach, and they had a chocolate brownie sundae on there, which we had with mint choc chip ice cream, which was just caked in whipped cream, and it was absolutely delicious. And then I almost died trying to eat a bit of tiramisu. But all in all, Bernie's, sit in a booth. You're going to have a really nice time if you're going there for dinner. Death, taxes, and a bit of traffic, and a trip to Katz Deli anytime you're in New York. It's probably the most famous sandwich shop in the world.
Katz's is one of the rare occasions where something so violently touristy and popular really lives up to the hype. One of New York's oldest delis, it's been there since 1888, and whilst the experience of watching the pastrami and briskets getting sliced and hearing orders yelled out from the counter makes for something a bit fun, the sandwiches are as serious as arson. They're a bit pricey, but they're absolutely massive.
We've gone for a brisket today, as well as the pastrami on rye with sauerkraut and some full sour and half sour pickles. Everything's got mustard on it as well, because we're not nonces. Wetter than an otter's pocket after a swimming lesson. Oh, that is so good. It's like soft and fatty. Considering that you have to dislodge your jaw to get into one of these sandwiches, the way that it literally just melts is a wonderful thing. I mean, look, I've been here before. I know what to expect. It's the world's most famous sandwich shop for a reason. Applesauce with latkes, though. Not sure if I like applesauce or I want mayonnaise with them. Right, we've gone for sauerkraut and mustard. If that's wetter than an otter's pocket, this is like a big dead drowned otter with a pocket full of me backward. That's even softer. Katz is where the woman does the I'm coming thing, isn't it? Is that Katz's? Yeah. When she's like, oh, I want what she's having. And she's probably eating this, because this is giving me a bit of a wide on. You've heard of having applesauce with pork, but that probably won't happen at Katz's Deli on account of it being a Jewish deli. But they do have applesauce with potato latkes. Not for me, really, but I like the latke.
A whole host of world-famous superstars have been through the deli doors. Mike Tyson, Uma Thurman, and more importantly, Richard Hammond off of telly. Flushing, Queens is famous for having one of the largest Chinatowns in the world, so, well, outside of China, obviously, there's loads of Chinatowns in China. It felt an important journey to undergo.
We're at White Bear, we're getting some wontons because we're in Flushing, and that's what you do when you're in Flushing.
Wontons and chili oil. I don't think they had anything else. We tried to order some other stuff, but they said, sorry, we've only got wontons today. So maybe that's because they sell out because they're really good, or it's their reduced Sunday menu. Yeah. They look pretty good. You can smell how savoury this chili oil is, but it looks really dry. I'm hoping it's not going to blow my absolute arse off, but it's not super spicy, but it's really, really savoury. I mean, they're tasty. And what was it, $10? So it's like £6, well, £7 actually, because of the exchange rate last I checked. And there's some sort of like pickly stuff on top, but if you're picking up a quick bite, mustn't grumble. That's very tasty.
A friend of mine had told me about Shanghai Yu Garden, and with a few dumplings having whetted our appetites, we arrived ready to take on some goodness. They may do the best Xiaolong Bao soup dumplings that I've ever had. Absolutely delicious. I don't really know how to eat them though, because I'm a bit of a moron. The rice cakes with pork and preserved greens were exceptionally tasty, especially when coated in their chili oil, which was another very savoury, not too spicy number. I definitely recommend a little trip here. You could go to Govball and see geese for a truly authentic New York experience if you fancy, but there's quite a lot of very young people there, and it might make you feel old and The day somersaulted into an evening of beers with a slice of pizza from Artichoke Basil's, which was all that was needed at that moment. A spot was hit perfectly.
We're in Nolita. The weather's finally gotten slightly less hot. It's been about 32 degrees the whole time we've been here. Now it's 24, so we're going to bumble about for a bit, go in some shops, maybe eat some pizza. We'll see where the day takes us. But we do have dinner this evening at Peter Luger's.
We popped into Noah, had a little browse. Everything cost $1 million, so we left. We went into Stussy. Everything cost a bit less than $1 million, and you had to queue to get in, so we left. We went into Aimé Leon d'Or. It's a very cool store, it's curated, but obviously I couldn't find $1 million, and I don't know how to hotwire a car.
La Industrie is a pizza place that was open in Williamsburg and then got very, very popular, and there's always massive queues there. And I've been to the Williamsburg one, but they've got one in Little Italy now. The smell of garlic bread wafts through the streets. Ah, they have wine-based frozen drinks. Doesn't seem to be a big queue, which is nice.
Le Industrie was quite an operation when I went to its original site in Williamsburg, but the Little Italy shop is a well-oiled machine. A busy, well-oiled machine.
That is exceptionally nice cake. I think it's like Oreo cake. Dare I say it? Incredibly moist. It's not stodgy at all. That's fire. It'll probably be really good after pizza, but you pick the desserts up first, so you're just going to end up eating pudding first. I'm going to try the milfoy. It's cream and pastry, but I have no problem with that. Okay, so which one's... That's the New Yorker.
Yeah, nice.
That's got sausage, ricotta, pepperoni. That's just pepperoni, standard. This one is my figgy bacon boy. And that's the Le Industrie, and that's a straight marg, is it? Or is it a gay marg? Oh no, it's a salami. It's a salami. Wow.
Out of 7.
It's a 6.8 out of 7 for me. The sausages, there's a bit of spice on it. I think the thing about all pizza is that a bad pizza's still fine. It's a spectrum, but a really good pizza, you know when you're eating a really good pizza, and it is a really, really good pizza. It's nice and thin. Good tomatoes, they taste fresh. Cheese is great. What more can I say? Apart from, I'm going to try this figgy boy. Fig jam and bacon. A classic case of sweet and salty, smoky bacon on a white base. It's marvellous pizza. I will say it, it's great pizza, but it's still not crisp and it's still not dough hands. London pizza is still better than New York pizza, and I'm not actually sorry for saying it at all.
Tourism continued throughout the afternoon. We popped into Brain Dead. It was all about $1 million and quite wacky. A quick shower and a change for the evening, and it was once again time for a bit of dinner.
I'm crossing the Williamsburg Bridge to Williamsburg from Manhattan. It's about as calm and as quiet as the forecourt of the dog pound where that guy let the dogs out from, except the loud canines are in fact machines, such as trains and bicycles and joggers. And we're going to a very iconic steakhouse that I've wanted to go to for a very, very long time and haven't had the pleasure of going to yet, so I'm very excited. It's called Peter Luger, shares a name with the name of a German pistol, but will it go bang in my mouth?
I've heard Peter Luger described as the kind of place that fat, rosy-cheeked businessmen take clients for dinner when they're in town. I am a fat man, I'm in town, and I simply had to make it my business.
Peter Luger's steakhouse is possibly the best steakhouse I've ever been to. Certainly the best steakhouse I've been to in New York. We started with fennel seedy bread, with butter and an onion bread, like an onion loaf, but the guy didn't tell us that we shouldn't fill up on bread beforehand, and then came and told us after the bread went, watch out, everything here is massive, which is true for America, but is also very true specifically for Peter Luger. We had a wedge salad with a blue cheese sauce that we had separately because one of my mates doesn't eat blue cheese because he's an idiot. That was amazing. And then bacon chops, big thick bacon chops, chopped into bits with this special steakhouse sauce that they have that's kind of like horseradishy and tomatoey, and I've just realised that we forgot to get a bottle to take home, which you can do, and we're only down the road now, so I'm thinking we might run back and get some, although I physically can't run now. That was incredible, just like a big fat piece of bacon, thick bacon. We had a bratwurst with some really nice mustard, tangy mustard. It is a German restaurant, so you've got to have a wurst. There was 4 of us. We had steak for 4, which costs loads, but was so good. Medium rare, obviously, not well done, we're not freaks. Some German style potatoes, which are just these nice oniony potatoes, crispy in parts, soft in others, sort of like somewhere between mash and roast potatoes. Very good chips. Generous serving of mayonnaise. If you're in any restaurant ever and you ask for mayonnaise, normally they plop down a thimbleful. This was like a ice cream sundae jar filled with mayonnaise. That was great. Our waiter was a guy called Justin. He was brilliant, incredibly knowledgeable. His favourite dessert was the New York cheesecake served with schlag, which is what they're calling cream there. Absolutely wonderful meal. Probably my favourite meal that I've had on the whole trip, and it's the last dinner of the trip. So yeah, Peter Luger. Who'd have knew ya? I do now. It's great. It's a beautiful day. Unfortunately, our last day in New York, and our last meal will be at a place called S&P Lunch, which has been recommended by my friend Ben and my friend Max. and at least 3 other people. It's an old school Jewish diner, so we're going there now. S&P lunch was really nice. It's an old school diner that's been owned by about 7 different people since it's opened. The current owners have had it for about 2.5 years. We had some home fries, which I will start off by saying I did not like. They weren't for me. So we ordered some French fries, which were crinkle cut fries, which were delicious. I had a milkshake, chocolate in variety. It was delicious. The tuna melt that they do, class. Simple tuna mayo mix, American cheese, toasted, simple but delicious. I think it was called the S&P Classic, the S&P Special, S&P something, Russian dressing with like sweet spicy peppers, really vinegary sweet spicy peppers, cutting through pastrami on a soft roll, unbelievable. And then my personal favorite was actually the turkey Reuben, which came with sauerkraut and cheese and was toasted in the same way as the tuna melt. Yeah, fantastic. We had a matzo ball soup, that was fine. S&P lunch, it's the place to be. That's New York. If you want nice places to eat, that's some of them. That's the ones that I went to. I might come back, see if there's other ones. I'd imagine there is. It's a big, big city.
Our time in New York had to come to an end, and as my stomach expanded, the contents of my bank account dwindled and faded away like dust in the breeze. I was a chubby shell of the man I arrived as. I would later head out into the wilderness, disappearing from public life and surviving mostly on bugs. Owen came into some money after a distant relative passed. He visited the Big Apple thrice more, but gambled it all away eventually and had to pay back all of his debts under a constant threat of violence. Eventually the mob did get him. And what of Josh? Some say he never celebrated another birthday. Some say that he joined the circus as a bearded lady. Some say that's not really circus worthy anymore. What do I know? Goodbye.